Hassan Chirumira, MP for Katikamo South, and of course many thanks Paul Omara, MP Otuke County, for the submissions and emboldening our understanding of matters supplementary budgeting. Stephen Ibide, you're on ground. KCCA finds itself in a spot of bother on so many issues, but today I'm told you'll be tackling pollution within Kampala. Don't forget, my guests want some questions answered specifically.
And we know that over the weekend I saw a video that was trending on social media of people who were dumping garbage in a drainage channel, and this video was trending on social media. I am here to understand KCCA is a rainy season. Many people are suffering in Kenya and Tanzania, but as KCCA, what are they doing as people continue to pollute our environment, but also continue with these such habits which are likely to cause havoc when it rains heavily in Kampala? Of course, we've seen some areas like Munyangabu where people are already dying due to these heavy rains and flooding, and Kampala has also had its own experiences. But first of all, good morning to you, Engineer Luimbazi.
Good morning, how are you? And good morning, viewers.
Let's begin by talking about the video that was circulating on social media on Saturday of people who were dumping garbage in rain. This is a practice that is so disastrous to our environment.
Thank you so much for noting that. That is just but one of the examples of poor public conduct, which costs government a lot of money in trying to correct avoidable mistakes, which can, if we had a good mindset change, good proper waste disposal practice by the public, government don't have to incur as much cost as we incur right now. Now, that is just people disposing garbage irresponsibly into the drainage channels. We have people who are degrading wetlands, people who have invaded channel reserves. We have buildings which are discharging sewage into our stormwater drains. Now, so we are constantly battling, and you can imagine Kampala has a population of 5 million during the day, 3.5 during the night. Imagine if just 10% of that population was doing that. How much work government has to do to correct that problem. So I urge the public to try and heed the advisories we normally give them regarding disposal of waste, avoiding degradation of wetlands, avoiding invading drainage channels. We're lucky that Uganda is not as aggressive in terms of development as Kenya is. Kenya, because they have substantial wealth, they've managed to really degrade their wetlands. For us, it is the poor people who are in the wetlands with the simple structures. In Kenya, it is major structures. So I urge the public that before we mature and have an experience like Kenya has, we have to be mindful of the damage it will do to the country.
Yes, as you call on the public, but also some of them will tell you that, yes, we collect garbage, you put it outside our homes for KCCA to collect the garbage, but also in the markets, you see heaps and heaps of garbage uncollected by KCCA or the people you contracted. This is also a weakness on either you as KCCA managers, but also on the people you contracted to collect garbage in time.
It's like you saying that because you're sick, you can avoid to contract more diseases. You know, yes, KCCA has some challenges, sometimes due to lack of financing, lack of resources such as garbage collection equipment to collect garbage as frequently as would be desired. However, this should not encourage the public to add on to that pain, okay? Because when you add on to that pain, that means you're inconveniencing the public more. So we need to see that we don't impose a cost on the public, public responsibility that KCCA has to discharge.
But also when you go to Chitezi, I know one of the dumping areas, KCCA, where you dump, the people you contracted dump the garbage. When you go to that place also, a lot has to be done to make sure that the management of this waste that people collect has, who bears the burden of waste management?
Of course, we should be mindful that we are not a developed country. We're a third world country. We have less resources than the services we need to provide. Yes, we need to upgrade the road to Chitezi. Chitezi is actually full to capacity. We're trying to devise other measures that result in government not having to incur more costs in terms of managing waste. We're looking at moving towards zero waste. How do we convert waste into value? That person who was dumping waste in the drainage, if she could derive value out of that waste, she would definitely keep it. So we want to set up a factory that's going to be able to process waste, turn into valuable items, and people now begin to regard waste as something precious that we can use. By so doing, we shall be able to avert some of the problems that we're facing right now.
I know recently we've had also these people, the casual workers who have been protesting over their unpaid wages. When you go to streets like 8th Street in Namuongo, 3 weeks ago I was there. Yes, I know now your contractors on ground, but the drainage channel that links to 6th and 7th Streets gets blocked. So these people who are supposed to be cleaning the streets of Kampala, the casual laborers, what is the status now? Because if they are not, if they protest again in this rainy season, we're going to see Kampala flooding like it was before.
Thank you so much for asking that question. I'd like to now also speak to the casual workers. Government, I think last week, but one approved a supplementary to cater for the additional cost we're incurring by engaging all casuals. What happened, we had contracted one group. Now we're contracting 2 groups. So the money we had to do 12 months or one financial year could only do half the financial year. Fortunately, the Minister of Finance, working with the Parliament and Cabinet and KCCA, we mobilized resources which have been approved through a supplementary budget, which is going to be uploaded on the system, and we should be able to pay everyone until the end of the financial year.
We're also in a situation of, this week is supposed to be Air Quality Awareness Week, and we know that pollution in Kampala, go to industrial area, go to other areas, from the residential areas, but also to the industrial areas of Kampala. The issue of pollution, first from noise pollution, but also to the air pollution, is also still a challenge in Kampala. What's the plan from KCCA?
True. There is a big challenge of noise pollution, and we're trying to be smart about the way we go about it. We're trying to deploy what is called noise delimiters. These are remotely deployed devices that KCCA can be able to monitor remotely, to be able to know who's polluting. And should you exceed the noise levels, permissible noise levels, you automatically turned off the grid. Okay? Your power is automatically turned off. And we also don't have to keep our officers moving around in the night trying to chase polluters. So with that noise delimiter strategy, we should be able to address the big noise pollution problem that is in Kampala, which is out of control, because right now we're controlling it manually. But if we go the smart way, we shall be able to have a bigger impact on how noise is affecting Kampala. Now when it comes to noise pollution has a number of drivers. One of the drivers is the kind of vehicles we have in the city, especially the bodabodas. Bodabodas use a 2-stroke engine, which is very, very disastrous in terms of damaging the environment. Regarding bodabodas, we're trying to move towards e-mobility, where we have e-bikes. With electronic bikes, pollution will be dealt with. Of course, we have the challenge of the poor roads. The poor roads mean that the vehicle operating costs not only increase, but the emissions increase because of the congestion created as a result. Government has a plan. We have financing from African Development Bank that we're using right now. We shall do about 100 kilometers of roads. We have financing from the World Bank. We shall be able to upgrade and rehabilitate about 70 kilometers of roads. We are lining up money from UK Export Finance to be able to redeem about 120 kilometers of roads. The President has written to us urging the need to revamp the roads in the city. So,
finally, as you talk about revamping the city, Kampala's problem has persisted, the issue of potholes. Go to Sapro Kagwa Road. I don't know whether any of your officials go use Sapro Kagwa Road, but many of Kampala's streets are having deep potholes, and we're going to a heavy rainy season. It's going to be disastrous in Kampala, driving in Kampala.
As I've always said when I appear on your shows, Kampala has an aged infrastructure. The solution is not pothole patching. The solution is rehabilitating or reconstructing these roads. And this is what we're doing. Sapolo Kagwa has a contractor. The roads in industrial area have a contractor. Salama Road has a contractor. Port Bell and Spring Roads have a contractor. Sentema Road has a contractor. Yes, the contractors are slow for various reasons, but we are going to intervene very strongly in the next 1 to 2 months to see that we turn around the progress of work. My final word is that yes, Kampala is facing a number of challenges. KCCA is also facing a number of challenges. But the public has a lot it can do to reduce the acuteness of the problem in Kampala. That example of somebody throwing litter or garbage in the drainage is one such example of how we increase the costs of public services in the city. If we don't conduct ourselves well, we shall continue to suffer in a bad city. But if we conduct ourselves well and are conscious about it, we shall have the city we desire in not so long a time.
Thank you so much, Engineer David Sali, the Deputy Executive Director of Kampala Capital City Authority. Thank you so much for your time. I know you're so busy here trying to run the city. I now have to hand you back to studio because Master Cemetery is coming on at 9 a.m. But thank you so much for being a part of Morning at NTV from 6:30 up to now. Priscilla Regina Raroga and Chris Igenyi have been with you, and we shall be seeing you tomorrow.